Alrighty, everyone, welcome to another episode of Trader of the Month. This month of December 2023, we have day trader Dalton. He is a lifetime member. So, Dalton actually won Day Trader of the Month because he had an epic day that slingshotted his account right up towards PDT levels. So, we're going to talk about what led to his success, how he prepared for this point, and maybe what some of his failures were leading up to this awesome day. So Dalton, I guess introduce yourself, buddy, and then maybe just talk about your journey and just go right into what happened yesterday or Friday.
Yeah, thanks, Jason, for having me on the podcast, man. Super big honor, and I'm super pleased to be here. So thank you. A little bit about myself is I really came across Profit Chasers back in July, and at that time I was working for a top Fortune 300 company. I was an outside sales rep. Um, I thought I had my career down. I thought I knew what I was going to do the rest of my life. Ended up coming across Profit Chasers through social media. I started talking to Jason and Noah and the team a little bit more and just get a little bit more involved, see what they're all about. Then they're hosting an event in Nashville. I had the opportunity to actually go down there, meet the team in person, and it's like, okay, these guys are actually legit. What they do is very legit and 100% transparent. So I started to get a little bit more involved into day trading, and that just roller coastered into I was having sales meetings and I was having my trading account app up on my phone during the meeting. And during that time, I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me to actually put all my time and energy into this trading. Ended up falling in love with trading. And due to Profit Chasers, in 4 months of trading with them alongside them and doing their lessons, I was able to actually quit my 9 to 5 and trade
Crazy.
full time. So if I didn't take that leap, if I didn't put the extra time and energy into trading, I would never came across this opportunity that came across my trading table on Friday. And so I'm very blessed for that. And I'm very happy that I decided to take the leap and trade full time. And I was able to quit the 9 to 5, and now I can do what I want. So I was really happy and really blessed for that.
Dude, that is, first of all, you have no idea how. I know. First of all, I know the feeling of like being freed from the 9 to 5, but how awesome that makes me feel. Um, just because it's like, oh, we not rescued another one, but we helped another one escape and live the life on your terms. So that's really awesome, man. I didn't know all that. Um, one thing is you had a long drive to our event, right? Because didn't you drive from Wisconsin all the way to Nashville?
I did. I did. So funny quick story with that. I worked late that Friday. Around like I got done working around 6 o'clock, and I was planning on leaving Nashville around like leaving Wisconsin around 9 p.m.
Mhm.
So I could get to Nashville in the morning for the event. I was My plan after work was I was just gonna take a quick nap. I had a buddy that was gonna be going with me to Nashville. Ended up waking up from the nap, and I got a text from him that said, "Hey man, I'm not gonna make it." So luckily, I had a good buddy that was actually in town. I called him up. I was like, Hey Dylan, I need your help, man. I gotta go to Nashville tonight, and I need a road. I need someone to. I need a road trip partner." So he's like, "Hey D, all right, I got your back, man." So I picked him up from the bar down the road, and he hopped in the passenger seat with me, and I ended up packing extra clothes. I just always do. So he's like the same size as me. He's like, "D, you got extra close to me?" I was like, "Yeah." So he's like, "All right, I'm down." So I had extra toothbrush. I had everything that anyone needed. So he just
Yeah.
hopped in the car with me, and we started driving. And I get to about 6 a.m. And then I had to wake him up. I was like, "Hey Dylan, can you take over, man?" And he's like, "Yeah, for sure." So we had about 3 hours left because it was about 11-hour drive. So had to get there around. We made it there around 9 a.m. So it was a great road trip. Pretty much drove throughout the night, and then took a little snooze at the hotel before the convention, or we got to the convention center. But yeah, it was a great road trip. Something that I am 100% glad I did do, and
Yeah.
I didn't just give up to that text. Hey, my friend's like, "I'm not going to make it." This is
Right.
something that an event that I knew I had to go to kind of push myself to the next level of trading and just being around you guys for the knowledge. And 100% glad it turned out the way it did. It was a great story for me.
Yeah.
And I just saw Dylan the other weekend, and we were BSing with some close friends, and he brought that story up, and we're all laughing, chuckling, and having a good time.
The funniest part is he took a nap right in the hotel room and was gonna make it to the event, but accidentally slept through the entirety of the event. Did he?
Yes. So I texted you. I was like, "Hey man, is it all right if I bring someone to the event?" You're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's really cool. Bring him in. He'll just sit down. There's an extra spot at the table." So you're all cool with it. And then I was like, "Yeah, Dill. I was like, hey man, here's some clothes. I had some nice clothes. Took them all in a suitcase. Put them on hangers for him, and then he got a text from him like right when the meeting was ending. He's like, "Yeah, hey Dalton, sorry man, I slept through everything." But then afterwards, he hung out
Yeah.
with us, and you got to meet him, and
Yeah, I got to meet
he's
him.
he's definitely going to be there next year for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he slept through everything.
He,
That just shows how good of a friend he is. Just wanted to make sure that we got there, and he was there to make sure we got home.
right.
So
Yeah. Well, I appreciate Dylan for getting you there, man. It was really awesome meeting you and hearing your story, dude. That's what these events are all about. They're super life changing. So that's just I wanted to bring up that story because I actually did meet him at the end. Um, and I'm just like, dude, were you here the whole time or did I just not see you? And he's like, no, man, I'm sorry, like I just missed it. But at least he was able to. Hopefully, you guys had fun that night. Or did you drive back the next morning?
yeah,
Or
so after Top Golf, so remember
okay,
we went to
yep,
Top Golf on
that's
Sunday,
right.
and then we drove back after. So yeah, that was another thing, is that we didn't get back till like 2 a.m. and then we both had to get up at like 6 for work. So
Oh
he's a
my
trooper for
gosh,
sure.
that's awesome. Well, kind of steer it off Proficon. So talk to everyone about. Hold on, let me sit in my chair real quick. Talk to everyone about the day that you had Friday, and what led to your success, and what were maybe some of the reactions from friends and family.
Yeah. I guess just starting at the morning. So hopped on a live stream with you to
Yep.
watch you trade, and COSM came up. It was a stock that came up on the scanner. I know a couple, you and a couple other people in the Discord try to trade it in the morning or something, but I just saw it come up, and at the time when I was looking at it, I had missed my opportunity, but I was like, oh, this is just another stock that maybe something can come of, or that maybe there can be a later momentum play later in the day. So I just kind of kept it on my watch list, and I kept watching it. And around 11 a.m., I saw that it just like kept curling up. It didn't really have any like pullbacks. It was just steadily moving up. And I thought that this one would be a good play for, maybe an hour and a half. And then I can take out, see how well the money did, or how well that stock did. So anyways, I decided to put some money into that stock, and I made 1,600. And at that time, that was the most I'd made. I've never, going into that day, I've never made more than $1,000 trading. So to make that 1,600 was awesome.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was with me in the living room at the time. I was like, hey, look how much I made on the stock. And then I sold out, and about an hour and a half later, I pulled my trading account back up, and I look at it, and this stock is just skyrocketing. And I'm like, man, maybe I missed my play. And then about 30 minutes later, it continues to go up. And I'm like, this thing just isn't quitting. It's not going down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna trade it again. I put some more money back into that stock, and it just kept skyrocketing. And so I'm in Wisconsin. So when I speak, I'll be speaking on Central Time. So the stock market closes for me at 3. And it was about 1:45 when I decided to go back into the stock. And
Mhm.
at that point, it was at $11. And in about an hour and 15 minutes, it went all the way up to 22. It actually went up to $23, but at $22, I had stopped out. And at that point, I was up $12,500. So 12.5 I made in about an hour. Well, at that point, that was my second time going into the stock. So I
Yeah.
had made about 10 grand. But collectively, it was about all said and done 12.5. So I was just watching my phone the whole time. I couldn't believe what was even happening. It was like
Yeah.
every time I would go it back into my broker account, I would see it be up another thousand, and then I was just like, okay, I gotta watch this. But at one point, when I was starting going back into the stock, I had that 1,600 in profits, and it went all the way back down to $450, and I was like, there you go, Dalton. Now you just gave back the most money you've made in one day into the stock, and now you just kind of screwed yourself. But I had a feeling it was going to go back up. I think it was just kind of faking people out, trying to get the weak traders to sell out right away. So I just held. I stuck to my plan. My plan was I'm going to trade this till 3, till right before the market closes, because I think it's going to continue to go up until it did, all the way until where I thought it was going to be. I'm sorry, I didn't think it was going to go all the way up to $22. I knew it was going to continue to go back up. So I just held with it, and I want to get out right before the market closed, because after after hours, there's less volume. It's harder to trade, harder to get out of stocks. So I want to get out. I want to be smart about it and get out right before the market closed, which I did. And at that point, I was at 12.5, and I was super ecstatic. At that point, I was actually at my sister's house watching my niece. So I got to do that all with her, with my godchild. So that's another experience, another story that I will actually get to tell her when she's a little bit older, because she's only about 20 months right now. So that play came across that stock came across from watching your live stream from the Profit Chasers team. And because of that knowledge and because of the support of our community, a very well traded stock came up that I would have never had the opportunity if I didn't decide to tune in. So because of that, and from the lessons and from the education I've gained from you and the Profit Chasers team, watching this trend, I knew that the stock was going to continue to go up. So that's why I decided to go back in, and I'm 100% glad I did.
That's awesome, man. Well, so first of all, I saw your winner come across at 1,600, and I thought that was roughly one of your biggest winners I've ever seen from you. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, I'm glad for him. So the reason why the team made so much money on this, for those listening, is because it was just a crazy momentum play. It was parabolic momentum. And it's rarely that we get that opportunity. Now, last 2 Fridays in a row, we've gotten some really good deals and opportunities. So it makes us think that the hot market's starting to come back. So for the first play, Dalton played the break of the pre-market high. It's a strategy we do very often. I think you bought it around like 450, right?
Yeah. Yep, it was at 477 when I first bought it.
Yeah, and we were looking for a move up to 6, because that was towards high a day, and then it kind of faked us out a little bit, and then we stopped out. But you still made a good gain on it, and then next thing you know, I'm actively trading it from 12 to 15 to 20. And I'm taking scalp trades, $400 or $500 profit, and so I submit like I think I closed the day just shy of $4,000 in profit on the day, and I'm like, check I can't wait for the team to see this. And right as I click submit, I get 2 more messages like badoop badoop, and it's like Dalton Weller, like $12,500. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna delete my PNR right there. That was crazy, just blew me out of the water. But it's awesome to see the play that you took, because it looks like you bought it when it retested like $10, so you thought 10 was a good support. And then when you talk about the trend, were you talking about like it just holding the 9 EMA and just steadily, curling back up there? Like, what was your thought process as it was curling up?
So my thought process is that lately the trend for a couple of stocks that I've been watching, and last week I made a couple $100. I made like $700 off this one stock that it just kept curling. And then once it got to around 1:30, 2 o'clock Central Time, and the just kind of went nuclear and just kind of skyrocketed. And I had a feeling that same, because the stock market, it's a trend. It's a trend. You can play it off of trends, and then you can play it off of catalysts and stocks doing well. And I was looking at this one as a trend. How we have charts that we watch candles, and we can see when we can kind of estimate what the next candle is going to do. Mm-hmm. So I was applying that same principle to the stock, that hey, during power hour, I feel like the volume is just going to continue to go up, because as I was watching the stock, when I first got in the stock, the volume was only at like 50, I think it was at like 50 million. And
Yep.
then towards around like 1:45, 2 o'clock, it was getting up to like 200. So the
Holy
support,
crap.
yeah, the support just kept going up. So once
Yeah.
I saw the support kept going up, that's why I decided to get back in, because with all that support, there's no way that the stock is going to go back down. So
Yeah.
that was my move, and that was my play, is my turn to get back into
Yeah.
the stock then.
And so you bought at 11, sold at 22. So your trade was about 100% gain.
Yeah, it was at the end of the day, it was 110%. So I started the day with less than 13K in my account, and now it's up to 24. So I almost doubled my account in
That's
a couple hours.
That's wild, man. And that's just what you can do when there's opportunity, right? In a hot market, we usually get a few of those a week. So you can see how quickly your account can grow and how your account can build because, if you started trading in July, it means you never experienced a hot market. So
Mhm.
last year at this time, it wasn't abnormal if we got like one of those a week, if not more than one a week. It just everything was just going parabolic. And so it's cool to see that your first kind of taste of a hot market, you're crushing it because you learned, and like a lot of traders learned in a cold market. Now that it's heating up, you guys are taking the principles you learned and are absolutely just I mean, your account's going insane, up over 100%. That's just wild. That's awesome. So
100%. And I feel like I'm blessed that I actually I get to learn in a cold market, because those mistakes were a little harder at the time,
right.
just because you can't bounce back as quick. So being patient and more selective, definitely made me a better trader for this hotter market time.
Yeah. No, definitely, I agree. That's a good way to put it. You couldn't those mistakes lingered longer. They stung a little bit more. So you were more passive on your approach. You were more selective. That's a good way to put it. But anywho, guys.
So,
Oh, well, no.
oh
What
no,
you said?
I was just gonna say, yeah, you asked what my family's reaction was
Yes,
to
yes.
the big trade too. So it actually worked out. That at Friday night, I had planned to go to dinner with my sister and my brother-in-law. We already had plans before this happened, and so we're all to eat at Texas Roadhouse, just a
Yeah.
place down the road we like to go to, and we're just talking. And then I'm like, "So guys, I have something to tell you." And my brother-in-law, he has a good job. He's in the construction world.
Yeah,
He's a superintendent for an asphalt company,
yeah,
but he does trade stocks on the side a little bit. So, but he's had smaller gains. He doesn't do it like full time or anything. So
yeah,
but he's just familiar with it. And when I told him like 12 grand in one day, his jaw dropped. He was like,
yeah.
"What?" And then I told my brother later that day. He was like, "Dude, no way. You're lying." And I was like, "I'm not lying, man. Like this, I'm being legit. I can't believe it either. Like this day really changed my life. It changed my trading career, and it just,
Yeah.
I can't say anything less than how ecstatic I am."
That's awesome, man. I just the reason I laugh is because like, hey guys, I have something to tell you. Like, I'm sure there's like a million things running through their brain of like what his next words are gonna be. Like, but like, yeah, I made almost 13,000 in a day. It's like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, but that is insane, man. That's awesome. I trying to remember if there was any big wins that my family was like, you know. I can't remember off the top of my head, but um, that's cool. You're almost over PDT at that point, and then once you get over PDT, man, it's I don't want to say it's clear skies because it's still a challenge, but the challenge of not wanting to waste a day trade is completely gone. Like, so it's gonna be you're gonna feel so much better and so much easier about taking trades just because like a lot of traders under PDT, what I found is they're nervous to jump on opportunity. And it's good to be selective. I agree. It's good. It's great to be selective, but so many traders pass an opportunity simply because they would not want to lose a day trade. I've even talked to traders, and I've even been in an example where I held the stock overnight because I didn't want to waste a day trade. And I took a substantial loss, but I would have rather lost that money as opposed to a day trade. So it's super silly, and it's crazy to grow being under PDT. So I'm really excited for you. to see the growth that you're going to have when you're above PTT and you can trade more than once, once a week or once a day. It's going to be awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to that as well. There's just going to be so much more opportunity to come. And the main thing, you and I, we even had a conversation after the big win, was to continue to be smart, continue to be selective. It's not bad to now that you can do as many trades as you want, but that can go away just as quickly as I got to being above PTT. So let's continue to move forward with the game plan that I've been currently using, to being more selective and being more smart. So I'm going to take those words to heart from what we talked about before. So thank you for the advice. And I appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. Like you said, if your account can build up that quick, it can drop that quick. And unfortunately, I've done it. When I first crossed over PTT, a lot of you guys know my story, and I say it a lot, is I went from 25K to 83,000, I believe, was the peak, in like 4 weeks, and I just was crushing it. But I got overconfident in myself, and there was 2 trades in particular. One especially that I refused to take a loss on. A, because I was on some hot win streak, but B, I'm like, dude, I'm the man. Like it's gonna go back up, right? And instead of just simply stopping out, I refused, and I held the stock for a while, and I saw my account go from almost 6 figures right back down to below where I even started, back down to, I think it was about 14,000 when I initially stopped out. So, I was silly. I wasn't sticking to my game plan, like you said. It's super smart to keep those same principles when you're building your small account, as you go into trading with a bigger account, being just as selective, being smart about your trades, not trading everything that comes across your screen, locking in profits and cutting losses when you need to. So it is nice to hear that like you still are planning on, not going buck wild. I used to, oh man, it's another time for another podcast, but there was one time where I figured out that TD would allow me to 10x leverage my $25,000 account, and yeah, that's on my honeymoon, man. That was not good. So don't, just learn from my mistakes, please. Oh my gosh. We'll have to have a whole nother story time for that. But anyways, guys, if you guys have any questions about Dalton's experience with PC, Dalton's experience with trading, the day he had, the play he had, any questions you guys wanted to know more about Dalton or reach out to Dalton, you can reach out to him right on Instagram, or you guys can reach out to him right in Discord. Is it just DWeller8? Is that your Discord?
I believe it's Deller8. So yeah, DELLER8. So yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk to people, or if anyone has any questions, I'd be more than happy to be as an open book. I know that I'm not, I don't have all the answers, but I'm definitely getting there, and this is something that I'm not going to give up on ever. And I'm just looking forward to the future and gaining more knowledge and just gaining more experience.
That's awesome, man. Well, congrats on your win. Congrats on being Trader of the Month. I like your hoodie, by the way.
Hey, thanks, man. Sorry, these Profit Chasers hoodies, they're my best. They're the favorite. I have a black one and this white one, and I wear them like every other day. So I love them.
That's awesome, man. Well, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Trader of the Month. I'm sure you're going to see Dalton on this a lot more as he progresses as a trader. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you in the very next Trader of the Month. Have a good day, guys.